Trump just said he's ready to do something massive for crypto today, before the end of the day. We also have a massive debt bomb that just went off. We have a lot of news. Today could be a very volatile day. This is coming not just from me, but from MarketWatch, from a lot of different news organizations, because there's something specific that hasn't happened since 2000 that's happening today. It's the triple witching. So we'll talk about all this along with what's happening in Bitcoin and crypto. But if you don't mind, hit subscribe. Also, I've never done this before, but there's an official Telegram group that I will put in the description. It'll be like 3 or 4 links down because we also have to talk about sponsor of the channel, Neo, today, but we'll talk about that later. But this is an official group. It will only be in the description. Don't go to the comments because there are a bunch of scammers down there, but I just want to have a place to be able to post like exclusive content. So I just made this video just for the Telegram group today, and it's free. You just have to join. What I'm buying today, and would I buy Bitcoin over $100,000 as a new investor? I'm actually going to be posting this video a few minutes early in the Telegram as well today. So if you want access to this stuff, check it out underneath the video. Also, if you want trade, there's a link to BYDeFi underneath the video. They have a special trading competition that's going right now for just users on our channel. You can also trade crypto with crypto, so you can trade Bitcoin with Bitcoin. They also have fiat on-ramps and off-ramps now, so you can, if you want to, you can KYC, and you can deposit straight from your bank. So definitely check that out. You don't have to KYC though, and they don't make you jump through hoops with a VPN. So check that out underneath the video. Now, Fed Reserve's Christopher Waller says that they could cut rates as early as the July meeting. Technically, that's true. But Fed Reserve Christopher Waller has been very dovish for a very long time. I was going through some of his previous comments, and he's been saying this for years, that they could be cutting rates. So I wouldn't put too much... I wouldn't give him too much credit, like he's going to push Jerome Powell to cut rates or anything like that. It is bullish, though, to hear some of the Fed officials saying this, right? He obviously wants rates to be cut. We also know that there are so many banks around the world that are cutting rates, like the Swiss National Bank just cut rates by 25 basis points to 0%. Keep in mind, the US is still at 4.5%. So we're very far away from 0%. We could cut for... the next 2 years to get to 0%, 25 basis points a meeting. So we're still very far away from where we've been in the past. They obviously raised rates so quickly. It definitely has had an effect on the economy. Obviously, Trump wants rates to be much lower. He said 2.5% lower, and he wants 1% like right now. And he also said that he's ready to sign the Genius Act into law today. Big banks adopting Bitcoin and crypto, it's coming. Yeah, so he wants the stablecoin bill to pass, and obviously so many banks want in on stablecoins. One of the ways that they can get exposure right now is through Circle. Circle is a stock that we've talked about on the channel before. They're the company behind USDC, and this has blown up. Like, it came to the market at $31, automatically shot to $80 before you could even buy it, or $670, and since then it's tripled. This is a $55 billion company. Day after day, it's up. There have only been a few days where it's actually been down just slightly. And so many banks and financial institutions are trying to buy Bitcoin, trying to buy stable coins, trying to get their hands on some part of this crypto economy, because Trump is obviously backing crypto very aggressively. He said that they want to be the crypto capital of the world so many times. So yeah, we could get some good news today. I think this would be good for markets. We could see some liquidations, so be ready for that. Be ready for some volatility. There's also another big thing that's causing volatility right now. We're actually seeing the market kind of whipsaw back and forth. We were up 0.5%, and then all of a sudden the market is down negative, like just very quickly. But like BlackRock will announce, or we'll figure out how much Bitcoin they bought today. Obviously, the market was closed yesterday. The stock market was closed, but they hold 683,000 Bitcoin. They've been accumulating tens of thousands of Bitcoin over the last couple weeks. And it just came out that BNY Mellon is revealed to be the 6th largest holder of Bitcoin treasury company Metaplanet. So these banks are trying to get a hold of Bitcoin treasury companies, Bitcoin, stablecoin companies, everything. Now, I want to go on to the giant debt bomb that just happened. I want to get to why we could see a lot of volatility today. Some liquidations could be occurring or could be coming, and a couple other big pieces of news. But first, today's show sponsor, NEO. So before we go any further, I want to talk about today's show sponsor, NEO. Its fully diluted market cap is around $500 million. I was excited to work with them because I didn't realize how easy it is to get tokens as rewards through the NEO ecosystem. So instead of like locking up your tokens or having liquidity pools or staking protocols or something like that, NEO is probably the easiest way to get yield in crypto. Literally, you just hold NEO, transfer into the NEO wallet, and gas starts appearing. If you want to make even more gas, you can vote with your NEO, which is super simple. Actually, this YouTuber, Unlocking the Chain, explained it. And basically, you just move your NEO to a wallet. Let me play this for you.
The governance website, pick your candidate, press the vote button, sign the transaction, and you're done. You never need to vote again.
So you just go to the governance website and vote, and then you get gas. Like, how easy is that? You get 15 to 20% APR in a different token too, so it's not like diluting significantly the underlying chain. It's not inflation-based yield. Gas is the utility token for all transactions. Basically, just getting paid to show up. Like, it's crazy. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave links to NEO underneath the video. Like I said, they've been around for a long time. They're kind of a giant in the crypto space. So if you want to check them out, you can learn a little bit more about them underneath. This is one of the reasons that Trump wants rates to be lowered. The national debt is skyrocketing. Just the debt interest is like a quarter of the national budget now. National debt hit $37 trillion. I mean, just look at this. Since I said look at this, the national debt's gone up $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. This definitely is going to affect us at some point. You can see the unfunded debt interest is at, what is that, 100 trillion? Something like that. Like, it's just insane. U.S. total interest paid, $5.5 trillion. So yeah, this is going to affect the economy. This is already affecting how the U.S. debt is getting rated, right? They went from AAA plus or something to AA plus, something like that. So some people are already downgrading the debt, saying the U.S. will never be able to pay it back, and this affects how expensive the debt is. This is why a lot of people turn to Bitcoin, because there's so much debt, there's so much interest, there's so many politicians that still want to print trillions and trillions of dollars, and we turn to Bitcoin. But Bitcoin doesn't seem like it's been that interesting recently to some people, right? We're sitting at 105,000. I say this all the time on the channel, though. It seems boring until there's a big move. And then it seems boring until there's a big move. And then it seems boring until there's a big move. And we've seen that in the past, right? Like, boring, 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 huge move. Boring, 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 huge move down. Huge move up. So we are, according to the Rational Root, this is an on-chain analyst that I really like. He has some really interesting graphs and some really interesting charts. You can see this is the circle chart. Basically, each time around is one cycle. So we talk about the psychology of a market cycle. He believes that we're in the intermission. So we were in belief towards the beginning of the year, right? Bitcoin was going up. Trump was in office. It just hit office. We hit an all-time high, and then we went into intermission. So like the people turned a little bit bearish, thinking the top might be in. But according to this, like the next quarter of the year, so July through September, we get back to thrill. Got to tell everyone to buy. And then after that, euphoria. I'm a genius, right? We're maybe hitting like $200,000 Bitcoin. Altcoins are going crazy. And then complacency. We just need to cool off for the next rally. And then denial. Why am I getting margin calls? Panic, capitulation, depression. That's when we bottom, right? Between capitulation and depression. So we have a good year and a half or so before we would typically hit the bottom of the bear market. But this is probably when you want to take profits, if you want to take profits. If you still think that the psychology of a market cycle is correct, and you don't think we're just going to endlessly go up forever. Last cycle, people thought we were just going to go up forever. The cycle before that, people just thought we were going to go up forever. But there are pullbacks, and even during the bull markets, there are pullbacks. People think there aren't pullbacks, but there are 30% pullbacks regularly, like every year. The last 2 years, we've had 30% pullbacks, and the last 2 years being last year and this year. So I guess the last 1 year of time, we've seen 30% pullbacks. So kind of interesting where we're at right now. We're nearing the end of the intermission. MarketWatch just posted why the biggest ever triple witching options expiration could deliver a jolt to Friday's trading. This is the first monthly options expiration to take place one day after a market holiday since 2000. So they say on Friday, option traders are facing something unprecedented, a monthly options expiration event coming one day after a holiday during which the major stock exchanges have been closed for business. Contracts tied to nearly $7 trillion in stocks, ETFs, and indices are set to expire during the latest triple witching options expiration event, potentially the largest sum on record. So this could be quite volatile. So just to be clear, the triple witching is a quarterly event in which the third Friday of March, June, September, and December, there's the simultaneous expiration of 3 types of financial derivatives, including stock options, stock index options, and stock index futures. So a lot of whales pushing around the prices, trying to force options to expire in the money or out of the money, etc. So could be some volatility today, to be clear. You can see here $6.5 trillion in stock options expiring today. This is why the market has been going sideways for a week. Once it's over, volatility will kick back again. So some people saying that there's going to be less volatility. I think there could be more, to be clear. Just pull up MarketWatch to see. Yeah, we're back in the green on the S&P 500 and Dow. But there's going to be some volatility. There could be some crypto liquidations as well. Now, there's always news in the treasury space for Bitcoin companies. Semler Scientific, not a company that I own, but one that I follow, just appointed Joe Burnett as the director of Bitcoin strategy. They were up like 10% last time I looked. I think they were up 15% in the pre-market. They just announced that they want 10,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2025 and 105,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2027. Obviously, not all these companies will be able to acquire as much Bitcoin as they want or as they state. There's some companies that are like 10, $20 million market caps. They're saying that they want billions and billions of dollars of Bitcoin. Okay, that's great, but that's not going to happen for all of them. And it's going to be very hard. As the price goes up, it's going to get very hard to buy more and more Bitcoin. So just make sure you're actually doing the due diligence on the companies, on their cash flows, on what they're making, and make sure that they're like cash flow positive, I'd say, or at least that they're cash flow zero or something like that. There are a lot of negative cash flow in companies, and they can buy Bitcoin and issue more debt, but why would you buy that versus one that's actually cash flowing, even just a little bit, to be able to pay for all their employees and stuff like that? Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Of course, do your own due diligence, and that the last couple things I said are not hard and fast rules, right? There will be crypto companies, Bitcoin companies that do really well that are cash flow negative, but just be careful out there. There will be some that go bankrupt. This is why we Bitcoin. 2017, a house cost $338,000, which cost 24 Bitcoin. 2021, 414,000. So housing prices went up significantly, but it only cost 9 Bitcoin. 2025, 417,000. It cost 4 Bitcoin. Crazy. 2029, maybe 2 Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin. I don't know. Again, check out the Telegram group underneath the video. Check out Neo as well. Big thanks to them. And then also you can check out BYDeFi. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you want to trade on a different exchange too instead of BYDeFi, there's a link to BTCC. A lot of people have been loving that too. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.